significant reasons for us to celebrate the movement of the sun. And in with the sun shining on us, we are able to absorb the energy while we are also creating energy through the yogic practices. We will of course be joined by Lord Rami Ranger later, but I just thought that I would mention that, as Honorable Prime Minister has mentioned when he launched the celebrations in India from the grand and historic royal city of Mysuru, he called upon people all over the world to embrace yoga as a way of life. Start the day with yoga. Start by practicing yoga. Practice yoga at different times during the day without any inhibitions, and find good health, inner peace, and also help to spread peace in the world. I think we heard his message very clearly. It was in English as well. And in Hindi, he had said, Hame yoga apnana hai, jeena hai, janna hai. That means we should know yoga, embrace it, make it part of our lives, and promote it, awareness of it among our communities around us. So later in the day, apart from this particular event, later in the day we are going to be hearing from communities all over the UK who are going to be sending in their photographs, and then we would tweet those photographs. So do look out and see on the Indian High Commission website how people like you are marking this day all over the UK. It this year is Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, so that is another reason why today's Yoga Day is special. And we again invite you to see our website, where we talk about the theme of this year's Yoga Day, Yoga for Humanity, which is an essential element of yoga. And that is why, although yoga may be an ancient science, as explained by our Honorable Prime Minister himself, it is all the more relevant today when the world is so full of complex problems, one after the other, and so many different problems in different parts of the world coinciding with each other. It would help so much if each one of us helps to create not only inner peace, but peace in our immediate surroundings, which helps to create peace in the whole world. When Honorable Prime Minister had first introduced yoga in the 69th session of the UN General Assembly in 2014, he had remarked that yoga is not just about exercise, it's a way to discover the sense of oneness with yourself, with the world, and with nature. And he very rightly said that for each one of us individually, yoga is like a health insurance with zero budget. So this is one thing that I'd like to remind you about, so that you keep it in mind as it inspires you to do whatever you can to incrementally increase your knowledge and practice of yoga in the days to come. As we saw during the most challenging times of COVID, it was yoga that people could do when they were confined at home or outdoors, where you could, individually practice this science of wellness. You did not need to be in a team or a group. You could do yoga anywhere. So, all these are the reasons why yoga helps us to make the best possible balance between our minds and our bodies. I take this opportunity to recognize among ourselves those who have devoted their lives to teaching yoga, to helping others practice yoga. And in this context, I congratulate all the yoga teachers among us, all the yoga enthusiasts among us, and I thank Mr. Neil Patel for giving us his time and for showing us in such a skillful way, in such a professional way, how to really learn yoga and do it properly, because that's very important. So with these words, I thank all the yoga organizations who are here, all those who have come here today, and I once again thank the management of Sri Swaminarayan Mandir and all its members, and I wish you all the very best of health and inner peace and a good balance between your mind and body. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for that very lucid and those inspiring remarks on the day of the International Day of Yoga 2022. Can I please invite Lord Drummy Ranger, who has very quickly and sportingly changed into yoga t-shirt, I see. Lord Ranger, if you could please make your remarks.
Thank you everyone, and thank you High Commissioner for arranging all this so we can all participate in yoga and feel the experience. As the High Commissioner has already said, this is a gift from the great nation of India to the world. This is a very ancient way of relaxing and keeping your body and mind in sync. Because these days we have so many stresses and strains we face every day, but we never have time to reflect on our own body, how body feels, how body changes with changes of situation or circumstances. So it's a very, very important, it's a very easy to do. So yoga has now been recognized by United Nations. The government of India has taken this upon themselves to make yoga a very popular throughout the world. And the staff of High Commissioner you have seen, they've been here and we all been here. And this is amazing because during the strike, we still managed to be here. That's our commitment to yoga. But yoga will keep your body and mind in sync. Once your body is not in sync with your mind, all sort of things happen. And you know, the mental illness is the biggest cause now. 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 people will suffer mental illness in their life. And I have suffered myself when we were trying to build our business. We were a lot of stress, daily, no proper diet, no proper sleep, no proper this. All sorts of things will manifest themselves in your body in one way or the other. So yoga gives you a message that you must look after your body. That's the only place you have to live. You have to spend at least 20, 15, 10 minutes just relaxing and focusing on your body, how your body feels, how it, just changes with the changing circumstances, how when you're happy, when you're stressful, how you feel, how your body will react to that kind of situation. So I think yoga is very good because yoga also helps you spiritually. You also feel connected with Almighty God, whoever your God is. There's only one God, but we can have different ways of connecting. So I will request that you spend some time on your body daily, that you know that this is my body and this body is going to make me realize my dreams, ambition, and it's going to make me be a happy person. Only a happy person can progress and spread more happiness. So on that note, Jai Hind, and thank you to the High Commissioner and the staff of High Commissioner for getting us to participate in this important exercise, mind, body, and spirituality, all in one. Jai Hind, thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you all to the 8th International Day of Yoga celebrations in Abuja. As you all know, the International Day of Yoga has been celebrated annually on 21st June every year since 2015, following its inception in the United Nations General Assembly in 2014 at the instance of Honorable Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi. There had been a brief respite in 2020 on account of the pandemic, but we are happy that since 2021, The International Day of Yoga is being celebrated with full vigor and joy. This year, the International Day of Yoga is being celebrated with particular emphasis and intensity on a global scale, and rightly so, as we mark the victory of mankind's resilient spirit over a devastating pandemic which sought to paralyze the world. This year, the theme of the International Day of Yoga is Yoga for Humanity, as we see yoga's growing acceptance globally. Today, over 1 billion people the world over acknowledge and appreciate the spiritual, mental and physical benefits that yoga offers. People are rediscovering that harmony within ourselves and with nature is the only way the world can achieve sustainable progress. Yoga, the ancient and everlasting gift of India to the world, offers this path of harmony, first between the spirit and body, and then with the rest of humanity. Today, as the world is facing multiple challenges of climate change, devastating conflicts, food security, and poverty, when the achievements of the UN Sustainable Development Goals still appear to be at a far distance, we are reminded of the famous statement of Mahatma Gandhi, who said, "Be the change you want to see." It is therefore important, first and foremost, that we strengthen and balance our own spiritual, mental and physical well-being in order to contribute effectively in the survival and flourishing of life on this planet. Let us all therefore turn to yoga, which will help us achieve this internal balance and harmony so that we can spread this happiness externally. This state of yogic bliss and noble vision of the people of India is the secret that helped India in its post-independence journey from being a modest economy beset with the challenges of partition to become the world's largest democracy, the 6th largest economy, the 4th best military, the 6th best in outer space, and the largest producer of generic drugs globally. We therefore dedicate today's event to the Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav for India at 75 celebrations. The most striking aspect of yoga is its simplicity, as it can be practiced by anyone, anywhere. We are happy to announce that the Indian Council of Cultural Relations is live streaming a unique yoga practice session called Chair Flow at the Desk, where your own desk in your office or school becomes your yoga recharging space. So, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let us use today's event to rededicate our passion and devotion to yoga. Thank you. Live streaming a unique yoga practice session called Chair Flow at the Desk, where your own
Thank you very much, sir. You may be seated now.
Or school becomes
Now
your
I
yoga
have the
recharging
honor
space.
of inviting
Excellencies,
His Excellency
distinguished guests,
Mr.
ladies and
Mohammad
gentlemen,
Musa Bello,
let us use
Honorable
today's
Minister of
event
FCT,
to rededicate
our
our
Chief
passion
Guest,
and devotion to yoga.
to kindly
Thank
give
you.
a goodwill message on the occasion. Thank you very much, sir. Now I have the honor of inviting His Excellency Mr. Mohammad Musa Bello, Honorable Minister of FCT, our Chief Guest, to kindly give a goodwill message on the occasion.
Your Excellency, the Acting High Commissioner of India to Nigeria, Mr. VSDL Surendra, Your Excellency, the Ambassador to Nigeria from the United Arab Emirates, Dr. Farhad Baid Al-Tafaq, other Excellencies present here, representative of the Honorable Minister of Information, the Acting High Commissioner of Kenya, representative of various government organizations, our very distinguished participants, especially the youth corps members, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. When His Excellency invited me a few days ago, he forgot to send me my own kit, so that's why I had to come like this. I would have been part of you. But on behalf of the Federal Capital Territory Administration and the entire residents of Abuja, it's my honor and pleasure to be here today, this morning, a very beautiful Abuja morning for the 8th International Day of Yoga organized by the High Commission of India, Abuja. I wish to begin by commending the Indian High Commission for providing this opportunity that has enabled many gathered here this morning to observe and experience the physical and mental health benefits of yoga, which has its origin in the great country of India, but has now been embraced by many across the globe. In symbolizing the unity of mind and body, thought and action, restraint and fulfillment, harmony between human beings and nature, and a holistic approach to health, yoga has found an alternative way of ensuring the total well-being of humans. So it's my statement to you is quite brief actually, except that I feel highly honored to be here with you today, and I also hope that with the multitude of people I see here, after this event, a lot of yoga centers will be opened in Abuja so that many will have the opportunity of this wonderful experience. Having said that, I do hope that in some time in the future, I will also be seated here with you to participate. Thank you very much. After this event, a lot of yoga centers will open in Abuja.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable time.
This wonderful experience. Having said that,
after Germany, Zambia, UK, we showed you a live yoga demonstration in Nigeria. We are spanning continents and time zones to show you how yoga is being celebrated on the occasion of the 8th edition of the International Yoga Day, when countries are joining each other in forming a guardian ring for yoga, a very unique celebration of the International Day of Yoga. It's a one-of-a-kind program. You can solely see this exclusively on DD India. We began our broadcast at 3 a.m. Indian Standard Time, and this is going to be a 19-hour non-stop continuous comprehensive coverage that will only conclude at 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time. We continue to be joined by a very special guest, former Indian ambassador to the UAE, Poland as well as Lithuania, and also ICCR's Goodwill Ambassador for Yoga for the year 2016, Ambassador Chandramohan Bhandari. Ambassador Bhandari, how important is it to learn yoga from a credible practitioner or a certified practitioner, or learn yoga from credible sources? And is the M mobile app, which Ramesh was earlier talking about, one of the credible sources to learn yoga?
Yes, very important that we must know the simple physiology and anatomy of the body. I mean, these days medical science is based on anatomy, physiology and biochemistry. All these three things are part of Ayurveda. So Ayurveda gives us very good knowledge, basic knowledge, which each individual must have: what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, how to eat. These days we are thinking yoga for health, but our eating habits, our sleeping habits, so many things count for the physical health. Just the thought process also counts a lot on the health. So if I can train the thinking of the person, the body health will get trained on its own. It's just like if the driver knows a good understanding of the car that he or she is driving, then the person will handle it in a better way. But if the person doesn't know, then it crashes very quickly. These days, these automated vehicles, if you just start, you can't make out which button to press, kind of thing. So something similar is happening with us, that previously we knew quite a bit about our body because of our traditions. Now we have forgotten those traditions and we have come to this modern way of living where everything is on fast track, fast food, fast life, things like that. So therefore, about yoga also, these days yoga has become a kind of fitness craze, and in that process people are trying to play with it, and so it is becoming like athletics and things like that, which it is not.
Right.
Unless you have good breathing rhythm with the asanas, you won't get the results that you should get. In fact, in my experiences, in 3 to 5 days, we can fix lot of posture issues, especially the spine. So therefore, all the asanas are training on the spine. But if you don't know the correct way how to do it, also these days, people come to us and they say, sir, we have been told not to sit on the floor, we have been told not to bend, and things like that. And they are amazed that within 3 to 5 days they can do all these things. They can sit, they can bend, and they find that they are better now than before.
How useful is the common yoga protocol in this context?
In this context, it is useful, but it hasn't got the input of breath into it. We say, but we don't explain how it is working. So it is very important that we should explain how breathing is helping. Breathing actually, for example, why we go on walking. We go on long walks, we go on jogging, primarily to increase the breathing levels. So if we increase the breathing levels without running, we will get better results, because for running we are using energy, body energy, while without using body energy, if we can increase the breathing, the volume of air that we breathe per breath, you will get much better health results. So the common yoga protocol is okay, but different people have different situations. They may not be able to follow the common yoga protocol. So therefore, a person who is, say, elderly, who is not able to sit properly, who is mostly bedridden, then the common yoga protocol can do nothing for that person.
Dr. Bhandari, I would have loved to continue talking to you on this very interesting topic, but unfortunately, we have completely run out of time on this segment of our broadcast. So we'll have to leave it at that. Dr. Bhandari, thank you so much for making time for us here at DD India. And viewers, you're watching the continuous coverage here on DD India of the International Day of Yoga 2022, live and exclusive. And as Munmun said, you can watch this till 10 p.m. India time. So 7 more hours of pure, unadulterated coverage of the yoga celebrations from all over the world, including, as we go along, to the Americas and other parts of the world as well. So keep watching DD India, don't go anywhere. But we leave you with the visuals of more Yoga Day celebrations taking place in Berlin in Germany.
Sehr gut. Nochmal. Atme ein, strecke dich richtig hoch, sodass du richtig die Streckung im ganzen Arm fühlst. Strecke dich hoch und atme dabei. Atmen nicht vergessen. Ausatmen. Zurück, die Ferse zum Boden. Entspanne die Ellenbogen und langsam bringe die Arme seitlich nach unten. Entspanne. Jetzt machen wir eine Übung, ein Asana, die Baum heißt. Wir zeigen euch verschiedene Versionen. Die eine ist, der linke Fuß ist auf dem Boden. Winkel dein rechtes Bein ein und lege deinen rechten Fuß auf den linken Oberschenkel. Wenn du das nicht kannst, du kannst es auf der Wade legen. Und wenn du es nicht kannst, es gibt 3 Versionen. Einfach die Fußspitzen auf den Boden. Alle Versionen sind perfekt. Atme ein, bringe die Arme seitlich nach oben. Bringe die Hände zusammen, strecke dich hoch. Du kannst so bleiben oder die zweite Version ist, du kannst einfach so mit den Händen vor der Brust stehen. Das, was für dich bequem und angenehm ist, okay? Schau, was für dich gut ist. Sehr Jetzt ausatmen, löse die Finger und bringe die Arme seitlich nach unten. Sehr gut. Entspanne dein Bein, stelle dein Bein auf den Boden. Das gleiche für die andere Seite, nicht wahr? Also, linker Fuß auf die Innenseite vom rechten Oberschenkel. Du kannst so bleiben oder, wie gesagt, die Wade oder so einfach, so wie ich es mir gerade einfach mache. Lasse die Zehenspitzen auf dem Boden. Atme ein, strecke die Arme seitlich nach oben. Verschränke die Finger, Zeigefinger zum Decke oder zum Himmel und strecke dich hoch. Mit einem Lächeln klappt es super. Atme weiter. Sehr gut. Manche tanzen ein wenig, wie wir hier sehen. Sehr gut. Ausatmen. Bringe die Arme seitlich nach unten und entspanne dein Bein. Sehr gut. Seid ihr dabei? Seid ihr bei uns? Sicher? Sehr gut. Dann atme ein, bringe die Arme nach vorne und hoch. Und jetzt mit dem Ausatmen beuge dich nach vorne, aber strecke die Arme richtig nach vorne. Und bringe deine Hüfte nach hinten. Und schaue zu uns. Ich sehe noch nicht alle lächeln. Gut, gehe runter. So tief du kannst. Entweder die Hände auf dem Boden oder lege einfach die Hände auf den Oberschenkeln. Das ist auch okay. Ja? Oder auf den Waden, da wo du ankommst. Seid ihr bei uns? Zeigt uns. Könnt ihr das? Gut. Atme ein, strecke die Arme nach vorne und komme hoch. Ausatmen, die Arme zur Seite und nach unten. Die Hände auf deine Hüfte. Lass uns so drehen. Die Hände auf die Hüfte. Fester Stand. Und jetzt atme ein, strecke dich hoch und mit dem Ausatmen beuge dich nach hinten. Aber presse die Hände gegen deine Hüfte. Gehe nur so weit du kannst. Sehr gut. Super. Sehr gut. Mit dem Einatmen komme hoch und entspanne die Arme. Jetzt machen wir noch eine Asana, die habt ihr bestimmt irgendwo schon gesehen. Asana ist eine Körperübung. Stelle die Füße, stelle dich seitlich zu uns. So dass
Exala, desce o lado esquerdo. Quando chegar lá embaixo, inspira, retorna a cabeça para o centro devagar. E relaxa. Relaxa os braços ao lado do corpo, as mãos ativas. E a gente agora vai inspirar, crescer os braços lateral. Eleva lá no alto. Exala, desce.
Brazil, from these visuals that we are beaming to you are live visuals coming in from Brazil. As the sun rises, people are welcoming the sun with Surya Namaskar, performing yoga on the 8th International Day for Yoga 2022.
Well, the location in itself is well known across the world. It's Christ the Redeemer, also called Cristo Redentor in Portuguese, which is one of the languages that is spoken in Brazil, the predominant one. And this is a location that is known to the entire Christian world and the entire world as well, because it has been featured in so many iconic videos and images, even music videos and films, that one can really keep on listing those iconic moments, but one will still not be able to put them down on paper. That list is so long, and it has an association with Brazil's identity as well. So it is indeed Yoga for Humanity, which is the theme of the 8th International Day of Yoga today, that all these images from over 75 iconic locations around the world, one of those being Rio's Christ the Redeemer. Christ the Redeemer is being beamed out across the world for entire humanity. Amrit.
Yes, that's right. This is Rio's, iconic location, the recall value of Rio world over. In fact, Gautam, it is the 4th largest statue of Jesus Christ anywhere in the world, and the largest art deco-style sculpture on the planet.
Well, certainly known as the new 7 wonders of the world, one of them really, Christ the Redeemer. That's where these yogasans are being performed in Brazil. Brazil, of course, in Latin America, so the time difference is quite significant. Amritpal just told us that it's 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning over there, 6:30 in the morning over there, and that's a great way to begin the day. That's what these people are doing, performing the common yoga protocol there, and you can see how people are being guided very, very methodically in sequence and awakening each part of the body and the mind, the psyche. Everything happens simultaneously for the body and the soul. That's what yoga, or yoga as we say it in English, is meant for.
Gautam, you can see the first rays of the sun touching the face of on the face of the instructor, who's guiding, leading and guiding the rest of the participants of this event at that iconic location in Brazil. Truly, it is one sun, one world. Really, as the theme says, yoga for humanity. So this International Yoga Day on 2022, it's truly a moment which is being celebrated world over, and the message of Vasudev Kutumbakam is being brought out from these various more than 75 countries. As you said, this beautiful visuals that we see of that iconic location of Rio. As Gautam just said, this is a statue which is distinguished by its style and symbolism. It's of course a religious Catholic statue depicting Christ standing with his arms crossed and looking at the city, and his attitude calls for redemption of the Cariocas, or the residents of Rio, but this iconic from this iconic location, the message of the whole humanity being one, and yoga for humanity. This is something which was picked up from the role yoga played during the pandemic in terms of healing people through a non-traditional system of medicine, when the scientific community, the medical community didn't really know how to react to something which had the scale and magnitude of which humanity hadn't seen since the Spanish flu, for which took place more than about 100 years back. So the role that yoga played there, and today this message being beamed world over. Gautam.
Even in the post-COVID phase, especially those people who are suffering from long COVID, and we'll speak to experts about that as well, yoga particularly has been quite useful for those patients who felt long-term symptoms of COVID long after having recovered, and then some people have been reinfected as well. So all that has a relevance there too. But just look at these iconic images, Amrit, beaming all over the world really, from Rio de Janeiro at Christ the Redeemer. Brazil in general, the largest Latin American country, is known for so many things: the rainforests, its vibrancy, samba, the carnival, and now of course it will be known for yoga as well.
That's right, Gautam. We can see this small group, but really a committed group. This is the Indian missions across the world in more than 75 countries are organizing this relay yoga event as the sun rises in the countries where it is right now. These events are being organized and beamed world over. This is the first of its kind, unique, innovative in that sense, an exercise which perhaps bears no example anywhere in the world where yoga is being celebrated. So it's not just a message of yoga for Indians, but yoga taking the message of yoga, healing through yoga, the philosophy of yoga about having a well balanced life, living a well balanced life, which is also important in the present world that we live in, Gautam.
Well, definitely. I almost thought that that is going to be another iconic asana which began with the prose of the Christ the Redeemer, and then of course there was a bit of leaning down and bending involved. But again, that is again a moment to capture really where everybody is in that posture of Christ the Redeemer themselves. It just speaks to how universal yoga is really. If you look at postures, if you look at even healing protocols in some of the other cultures, some of the aspects of yoga can be seen from Tai Chi to other cultures as well, in Japan as well, and which is why yoga is being embraced universally. If you just Google some facts, but you'll find out the highest number of studios of yoga are in Canada, which is quite amazing.
Absolutely.
And even there are cultures in the world, cultures like Bali, which is majoritarian Hindu, where yoga is as intrinsic perhaps to their culture as it is in India. It goes way back over there as well, and there are lots of followers of Patanjali yoga over there.
Yes, in fact, I saw the story that you had done from the yoga studios in Bali when you were visiting Bali last month. It's to my mind, this yoga is really now beyond borders, where people slowly realize the benefits of yoga, not just as a form of exercise, but as something which gives you a balanced approach or an outlook towards life, which tells you to live in a more healthy and a more aware manner of connecting your consciousness, the individual consciousness, with the larger consciousness of the universe, and sort of joining that consciousness, because yoga by in itself means communion or union of one with the larger world, with the universe, with the cosmos.
Yes, if you look at the contemporary problems of the world, what is it? People have emotional issues, people have work issues, stress related issues, people have issues because of the environment, bad air, bad water, bad soil, and to all these problems yoga has one solution or the other, and which is what people are gradually realizing, and which is why the followers of yoga are just growing and growing, and people sometimes don't even know that they're doing yoga. They just call them stretches, and that too is yoga.
Okay, these beautiful visuals of Rio from this is the highest point, Gautam, of Rio. All right, from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, let's go down to a remote, almost inaccessible part of the world, the Antarctic region. The international, these are visuals from from Antarctica, the Indian science expedition there. So our scientists based at the base camp at the Indian scientific expedition to Antarctica, also performing yoga on the International Yoga Day. Understandably, the numbers are less because it's a very, very small mission that we have there, but these are our scientists, who live there in the almost punishing conditions that exist in Antarctica, and they are also being a part of the 8th International Day for Yoga at the International Antarctica Research Station that India has.
Yes, this has come in from Chukotka, located in the Arctic Circle in Russia, which is where the scientists are of the NSCS. Antarctica. From Antarctica. This is the Antarctic region.
This is Antarctica.
Right.
These are from Antarctica.
From the other side of the world.
Yeah, the other side of the world, South Pole.
Correct.
So, you know, these
it is summer now.
Where it is summer now,
absolutely.
So you can see that's a small group of scientists who are performing yoga there, and
they're basically, you know, there is no indigenous population there because of the climatic conditions there. But this is the International Antarctica Research Center. Now from Antarctica, let's change position, you know, and go to Ghana.
Yes, we're spinning the globe a bit, and we're taking you across to Accra, which is Ghana, and that is on the West African coast, country again known for its beaches, but more than that, wildlife too. And Ghana, of course, again another iconic location.
All right.
DJ Drogba, that's the sports minister of Ghana now, and he's an iconic football player, one of the first players from Africa to score 100 goals in the English Premier League. I'm sorry, yes, this is Accra, Ghana, not
this is
Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, this is Accra, Ghana, and you know, this location, the Black Star Square. The Black Star Square in Accra, Ghana. It's 9:30 in the morning in Accra, Ghana, from where we are beaming these visuals to you from.
Let's talk about a location a bit more because it has an interesting history, Amrit.
Absolutely. Well, this Black Star Square is also known as the Independence Square. It's a public square in Accra, bordered by the Accra Sports Stadium and the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. The square, Gautam, hosts the annual Independence Day celebrations as well as other national events of Ghana. So something like you know, our Vijay Pacific can draw you know, a comparison,
yes.
Or perhaps, you know, an iconic building like the Red Fort, but this is a square where they which is called the Independence Square as well, where most of their independence related celebrations or any national celebrations take place. So it is from this iconic location that you know, we are beaming these visuals to you. An event organized under the, you know, the Garden Ring on the International Day for Yoga, the 8th International Day for Yoga 2022, which is being celebrated in over 75 countries across the globe, and our missions abroad have you know, pitched in to organize these events. But as you can see, it's not just Indians but the local population, the local African population. In fact, the gentleman who's leading it, who's
yes.
leading this group, and as we see, many other participants are actually people of African origin or people from Africa, the locals who are participating in yoga. And you know, the yoga instructor who's leading them. In fact, as we can see on our screens, the Indians who are there,
they're following
Accra,
him.
They're following this African gentleman who seems to be the instructor there. So from this iconic location, the Black Star Square or the Independence Square in Accra, Ghana, where this event is being held, is being live to you. It's morning there, not early morning, but about 9:30 in the morning.
Bring the head to the normal position. Similarly,
and these visuals that we beam to you
the location is of a lot of relevance to all Ghanaians really, because it goes back to 1957 when the first Prime Minister of the country had commissioned the construction of the square to celebrate the nation's independence, and this coincided with the visit of Queen Elizabeth II. The construction happened to end in 1961, and it was named the Black Star Square or the Independence Square.
At that time, it was Ghana was known as the Gold Coast,
yes.
Gautam. So, Kwame Nkrumah became the first Prime Minister of Gold Coast, which is now known as Ghana.
Certainly, certainly. And those were two of the iconic locations that we have got to you in this hour, along with me, Gautam and Amrit. And we're joined by our guests as well. Dr. Chandra Mohan Bhandari is with us, noted yoga guru and ICCR's ambassador for yoga 2016. Thank you for staying with us, sir. And we have Dr. S.M. Raheja as well, senior physician and former MS GB Pant Hospital, New Delhi. Dr. Raheja, if I could ask you first, in terms of how the world is following yoga, a lot of reasons can be ascribed to it. The soft power of yoga, the appeal of yoga as a spiritual guide to your inner soul, apart from the physical aspect. But as a doctor, why do you think so many people are taking to it?
I think the most important is the benefits of yoga. Yoga basically is an ancient science which is 5,000 year plus old, and now people have realized that yoga has pleiotropic benefits on our body. The most important is it integrates mind, body and intellect. So with that there is a complete harmony of the body. You see, our body has got parasympathetic system, autonomic nervous system and sympathetic nervous system. When the sympathetic nervous system is overactive, you will have anxiety, stress, fear, and once the parasympathetic system is there, you will have low heart rate, laziness. So yoga basically regulates our autonomic nervous system also. So there is a balance in the body. So with that you will find that we have done so many studies at GB Pant also, and we have even seen benefits to the heart attack patients, coronary artery disease, and yoga plays an important role for prevention of obesity, heart disease, coronary artery disease, stroke, high blood pressure, asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, even cancer, because the stress levels are low. Then it is very good for your joint health, because in yoga what we have seen, there is a increased secretion of synovial fluid which lubricates our joints. Then it builds our bones and muscles, and even the flexibility in the muscles is increased. So our body is getting physical strength with flexibility, with mental strength. When we are doing yoga, our body is releasing bliss hormones like endorphin, serotonin. So they give us a feeling of well-being, cheerful, feeling of bliss. You see, even I am doing yoga for last 25 years. Even today I was at the yoga session at CWG. So you feel so cheered up. Even if you are tired, you are depressed, take a rest for 5 minutes, do yoga, you will feel cheerful. And at the same time, our stress hormones like cortisol, noradrenaline, adrenaline, that is suppressed. So our heart rate will be low, our BP will be low. And now there are studies which has been done at a very large scale, and yoga has shown that in yoga we get the benefit at the cellular level, like the oxygen capacity of the mitochondria in the human body, that improves. And with that our mitochondria, our body cells are able to utilize our oxygen in a better way. Like, and at the same time, when we are doing deep breathing like pranayam, we are putting at least 10 times more oxygen inside our lungs and body. So oxygen supply to the body is increasing, oxygen utilization capacity is increasing. So what you expect? You will feel revitalized, you will feel energetic. Even I have experienced after a lot of work, if you are tired, you do yoga, you will feel fresh. Early morning, if you get up, I think that is the best time. What Yogacharyas advise, empty stomach, early morning, you will feel fresh and energetic.
Okay.
The difference between exercise and yoga is, you do yoga, you feel more energy.
Okay.
You feel like working in the office for 8 to 10 hours continuously. If you do exercise, you will feel bit, tired after that. In yoga, it is otherwise. So there are multiple benefits. If you see, it basically balances our body.
Okay. All right.
And what about sleep? Because a lot of people say that time pe so nahi paate hain, kaam hota hai.
Yes, I think that is very important.
And they don't get up in the morning to exercise.
Yes. The yoga is going to decrease your stress levels. As I very well said, the stress hormones like NORAD, adrenaline, cortisol, they are sympathetic hormones. They are releasing in response to the flight and fear, anxiety, stress. So yoga will balance that. And at the same time, our bliss hormones are more. So you are in a feeling of bliss and relaxation. If you are doing certain asanas in the evening, you will feel relaxed and cool. So yoga has an important role to decrease your stress, your anxiety, and at the same time, it induces relaxation, a feeling of relaxation and good sleep. Because sleep is basically related to the relaxation, like you are doing shavasana. That is what we see, corpse pose. So you will feel relaxed and cool. There are certain stretching and relaxation techniques which again relaxes our body. So I am speaking this with my own experience. I have been doing yoga since 1995. So my job has been very stressful, very challenging throughout. So yoga was the only way out which could calm down my nerves, calm down my body even when I was under a lot of pressure. So I could handle it well. It keeps you smiling, cool, calm, composed, and that is the way of life we should go.
Okay. Let me bring in Dr. Chandramohan Bhandari. Dr. Bhandari, you're a Yogacharya, a yoga guru. For somebody who doesn't know what yoga is, what is yoga? Is it a set of breathing and stretching exercises? Is it more?
जी बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न आपने किया. It's a very good question that you have put. What is yoga? So yoga is a complete science. Yoga tells us that I am not just this physical body. These days we are thinking only of the physical health of the body, fitness. So yoga goes much beyond fitness. What Dr. Raheja has said, the person in this body who maintains the calmness. The body doesn't have calmness on its own. It's the person in the body who, if the person is calm, the body will become calm. You had a very good question, a person who wakes up late works late in the night and obviously can't get up early in the morning. So that's where the Ayurveda tells us our daily routine is a very important part of yoga, because we need to understand that we are part of nature. So if we don't have harmony with nature, we will always run into trouble no matter what we do. So therefore both yoga and Ayurveda, these are integrative sciences. The Ayurveda helps to maintain the health of the body, and the yoga helps you to maintain the health of the person in the body. And this integration of these two is yoga.
Now, what is this person in the body?
Yeah, yes, now you are coming to the point. Just like a car is useless without a driver, and the driver is useless without the car. So what you say, the soul, what is soul and what is body? It's exactly like the car and the driver. And if the two don't know each other, then it's a crisis situation. So what yoga science is actually doing, yoga science tells us what is breath, first thing. Second thing, it tells us what is posture, why we exercise all these postures, what Dr. Saab was saying. So these asanas are correcting the posture of the spine, all the flexibility of the joints, etc. So the breath is different, pranayama is different. So
and soul and prana are the same life energy?
Yes, they are interchangeable. So when the soul enters the body, the prana also enters in the body. But prana is the energy flow in the body, and the person in the body is the operator of the body. It's just like the driver.
So yoga is not for the body, that's the ripple effect.
Yes, absolutely.
It is for the soul.
Absolutely. It's the Ayurveda that is handling the health of your physical body. But the mental and the spiritual planes are totally governed by the yoga science. So therefore we need to we need to actually delve much deeper and understand the depth of yoga science. It's the highest science that can actually give you what is called self-realization. Self-realization is knowing who you are. So you are what your thoughts are. And that's how we start understanding the entity of God. What is God? God is ultimate knowledge. So therefore, yoga science through our scriptures, if we go, for example, Vedanta, the Bhagavad Gita is ultimate in yoga science. The Patanjali Yoga Sutras are ultimate in yoga science. The entire psychiatry science of modern medicine is coming from Yoga Sutras. Complete. So therefore, if we go to the depths of yoga science, then you will realize कि प्राणायाम क्या है? Pranayam is to detach from the body and free the mind from your material world. As also, so it's the senses, the role of senses, it's the role of intellect, mind, what we call the subtle body inside this physical body. So once we understand these things, we can fix, people having insomnia, sleep problems, people having depression. So here we are not needing the physical body. Here it's the person in the body and the tools, that is the mind, intellect, knowledge, etc. This is how the nervous system in the body can be completely brought into play. And then of course this marma science from Ayurveda is a magical science.
Okay.
And I have a lot of Ayurveda friends with whom we synergize. So we know from Ayurveda how it is connected with yoga. And from yoga, the Ayurveda people understand, okay, how the spiritual part of our existence. What Dr. Raija rightly pointed out, the parasympathetic and sympathetic, the material brain and the spiritual brain. This harmony between the two sides is the role of both these yoga and Ayurveda together. So when we understand it that way, and this is what needs to be done. Our youth who are constantly, being manipulated by technology. Google is manipulating our
overstimulated
younger generation. So we are totally dependent on whatever the technology is saying. We have much more than that inside us. So therefore, recognizing this ability that you have and honing it further. After all, all this technology.
We're being told that we're getting more live inputs now, Amrita. I think we're going across to another part of the world.
We're going to Senegal. Let's bring you these images from Senegal, where the International Day of Yoga is being organized. These images that my producer is just trying to play on the screen are images from that we are getting from Senegal, where under the Guardian Ring, as in over 75 countries of the world, the International Yoga Day is being marked and celebrated. One sun, one earth, and these visuals are being played out from Senegal.
Levez les bras et tirez vers l'arrière. Et expirez, on descend tout doucement. Gardez vos jambes tendues ou légèrement fléchies. Allez poser vos doigts ou vos paumes de main à côté de vos pieds. Baissez la tête, le front vers les genoux. Encore, inspirez, on se redresse, levez les bras, hop, étirez bien vers l'arrière. Expirez, on descend à nouveau. Encore, inspirez, on se redresse, levez. Étirez bien vers l'arrière, allez encore. Expirez, on descend à nouveau. Inspirez une dernière fois, on se redresse, levez. Étirez encore, pied en arrière. Et expirez, on revient. Très bien, on se redresse maintenant, revenez à la verticale. Relâchez-vous. Très bien. Nous allons faire 2 enchaînements de Surya Namaskar. Ok. Et après cela, nous allons enchaîner avec le protocole. Donc vous avancez jusqu'à l'extrémité avant de votre tapis. Joignez vos pieds. Paume des mains jointes au niveau de la poitrine. Maintenant, en inspirant, levez les bras. Hop. Et étirez comme tout à l'heure vers l'arrière. Expirez, on descend. Posez vos mains à côté de vos pieds comme tout à l'heure. Ou pliez légèrement vos genoux pour y parvenir. Je vais vous demander de reculer la jambe droite. Nous qui sommes là, nous allons reculer la jambe gauche. Ok? Pour qu'on soit dans la même direction. Donc reculez votre jambe droite. Nous, jambe gauche. Ok? Redressez la tête. Regardez-vous. Décollez votre genou gauche. Décollez votre genou gauche. Donc expirez, jambe gauche derrière. Maintenant posez les genoux et descendez, tirez vers l'arrière. On va faire le petit. Facile. Yeah, Shashangas. Très bien, on se redresse. On se redresse. Allez là, hop. Chaturanga Dandasana. Maintenant, inspirez, on se redresse là. Poussez en posture du cobra. Bhujanga Asana. Expirez, on monte sur la plante des pieds, la tête en bas. Posture du chien, tête en bas. Encore posez les genoux au sol. Et étirez encore vers l'arrière en cherchant Asana. Retour avec la jambe droite, votre jambe droite, nous, jambe gauche. Inspirez, amenez votre jambe droite. Expirez, amenez votre jambe gauche. Inspirez, on se redresse. Encore, joignez la paume des mains. Tirez vers l'arrière, comme tout à l'heure. Et expirez, ramenez les mains au niveau de la poitrine. Encore. Inspirez, levez. Et tirez bien vers l'arrière. Expirez, on descend. Cette fois-ci avec votre jambe gauche, nous, notre jambe droite. Inspirez, reculez votre jambe gauche. Redressez la tête. Expirez, jambe derrière. Posez vos genoux et tirez vers l'arrière en cherchant Asana. Inspirez, on se redresse. Et expirez, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inspirez, poussez up en posture du cobra. Bhujangasana, on bascule la tête vers l'arrière. Expirez up, montez en posture du chien tête en bas.
So welcome as the sun rises in another country. These were live visuals that we were bringing from yet another iconic location from the country of Senegal, which you know, the world over, and I and you probably know because of football, and now yoga, you know, as a form of exercise, as a way of life, being you know, exhibited at that iconic location of Senegal. The message of yoga this year, the yoga International Day for Yoga, yoga for humanity. You know, joining all humanity through the exercise of yoga, which might have originated in the ancient times in India, but now gains more currency world over as the world realizes its usefulness, its utility, and how it connects us all as humanity, as humans.
Yes, it goes back to, in fact, our mythology and our scriptures really, because the original yogi was supposed to be Adi Yogi, which is Lord Shiva. So it goes as far as back as that, but then of course there are different forms of yoga. What really became popular and well known and almost universally is the Patanjali form of yoga of sage Patanjali, and then of course there are modern versions as well, and there is no end to the kinds of yoga there is, but then the kind that is worth practicing is what Dr. Raheja was also talking about, and so was Dr. Bhandari, one which is for the body and for the mind and the soul. It brings all three together, doesn't it, Dr. Raheja?
But if you can, add to that question, Dr. Raheja,
Yes.
From the system of medicine that you come in from, that you practiced all your working life and you believe and you were trained to, you don't really, accept the existence of any soul or any inner body or this thing. But but your branch or your medicine also accepts that it does benefit the body and your general well-being.
Even in allopathy, the
state
concept of life force is there, isn't it?
Yes, I will tell you.
Okay.
Now, the latest definition of health as per WHO is, health is a state of well-being of physical health, mental health, spiritual health and social health. So, ultimately now even World Health Organization.
WHO says spiritual health
yes,
as well?
Spiritual
and
health.
social.
And social.
And
of course, we are a social
now
being.
there are four aspects.
Huh.
So, once we talk about spirituality, that is an integral part of yoga, and it is not merely the absence of disease. So, you will call an individual healthy when he has good physical health, like strong body, good muscles, he can talk, he can walk, he can do routine works well, he can run, he can walk, he can do cycle, whatever is. Mental health, he has peace of mind, good sleep, relaxation.
His mental faculties are active, yes.
And social health, when we say our good relation with our junior, senior, family, peers, brothers, father, mothers, neighbors, like that, isn't it? And yoga teaches us a good behavior also, isn't it? And then come the spiritual health. Spiritual health is when you integrate your body, mind and intellect. When you integrate all, it is a part of yoga. Yoga means basically to unite, union.
That's right, union, that's right.
That is the basic concept. So, once we are uniting mind, body and spirituality together.
No, but what
is
is spiritual health really? Like for a
spiritual
person like
health
me who
is
doesn't
when,
understand.
this what Dr. Bhandari just said, physical health is body strength, this thing. Mental health is you are cool, you are calm,
your mental
you are strong,
faculties
you are
are
able
active,
to handle difficult situations, challenges in life, you are able to handle it.
You don't have nervous breakdowns.
Spiritual health is when you connect to your inner self. Inner self is when you calm down into an asana like pranayam, dhyana. This is called dhyan. Yoga has got 8 this thing like yam, niyam, dhyan. So, once you go to that stage, you will realize that this human body is not just mere the physical existence. It is something beyond it. You have that self realization. So, that is spirituality. Spirituality is when you are connecting to yourself, connecting to higher up, the spirit. So, that is spirituality, the God, what we call. So, that calms our mind, that calms our nerves, that calms our body. So, what I feel is yoga is a complete way of living, because it calms you, it gives you physical strength, mental health, spiritual health, and at the same time, if you go, yoga is a complete way of living. It's a complete way of living in a way. It also teaches you detachment, isn't it? Like this world is a physical
existence.
Physical existence. So, you must have felt, you buy a new car, it gives you happiness for a short time. You buy something new, it gives you happiness for a few more days, but again that will settle down. So once you are a yogi, you are into yourself, you will be happy within yourself, whether you are alone or you are with so many people around. So that is the beauty of yoga.
Certainly.
It's a state of bliss, what I say.
Okay.
As we have discussed, when we are doing, we are releasing bliss hormones like dopamine, serotonin, endorphin. So all these hormones will calm your mind, bring a feeling of well-being, happiness, cheerful. कि सब ठीक है यार. Even in difficult situation, you are able to calm yourself. And we strongly believe that when you make a decision with a cool, calm and confident mind, you will make a good decision.
All right.
Anything which is done under stress and anxiety is not going to pay.
True, true. Dr. Reheja, we are having an interesting discussion. We'll come back to that, but let's first go across now to the Arctic, where this yoga was organized in a city called Chukotka. Gautam, how do you?
Chukotka.
Chukotka in the Arctic Circle in Russia. If I can ask my producer to beam us those visuals from the Arctic Circle, the town of Chukotka in Russia.
The kind of images that you see on International Day of Yoga being practiced there as well by a small community of people, because largely the place is inhospitable. There's peak summer there, but still very cold.
So these pictures were taken at this place called
Chukotka again.
Chukotka. I'm getting stuck on the pronunciation. Chukotka in Russia. It's in the Arctic Circle, as Gautam was saying, understandably because of the terrain, because of the climatic conditions. It is right close to the North Pole, so there is understandably very less population there, but whatever a number of residents live there, they performed yoga. Now, as you can see, Gautam, through these pictures, they are mainly Russians and local residents. I hardly see any Indians in this particular event, but they also performed yoga and sent us these pictures.
Certainly.
So on the 8th International Yoga Day, so yoga truly being celebrated in more than actually 75 locations around the world, at places the Indian
I mean, more than 75 is the images that we're carrying, and carrying it along with the movement of the sun, but it's being celebrated. The 8th International Day of Yoga is now fairly well known and is being celebrated in over 150 countries in the world, in fact.
Absolutely. So as organizations like the United Nations give recognition to it, once the UN give recognition to the International Day for Yoga, its awareness increased, people understand the benefits of doing yoga and how it has the basic values and principles which every human being, as Dr. Reheja was just talking about, that it's communion or union of the individual consciousness with the larger cosmosic consciousness, and it is that union that
Yes.
yoga brings.
Yes, and I believe today is also the International Day of Music, which is also very good for the spirit, doesn't it? Bringing, in fact, yoga and music together, because you do sometimes use music and chanting for enhancing your yogasanas as well. Do you think that is a kind of union that really works well too?
Yes, yes. Yoga basically unites over all the senses like touch, smell, hearing, feeling. So all these senses, hearing also. So, all these senses have a positive effect on our mind, body and soul. So, it is not mere an exercise. Like in yoga, it is a very scientific way of doing. Like you are doing an asana, you are going to a particular posture, then you are staying there. This is what the yoga is, and then you slowly come back. It is not like that. So, you are going to a pose like Surya Namaskar, you are doing 12 asana in one go in a slow, steady, continuous way. So,
not fast.
Yes. First you are doing asanas in the sitting position, then supine position, then prone position, then standing position, and ultimately you come to pranayam, deep breathing. So, once you are doing Om Vilom, Bhramri, Bhratsika, I have been doing it regularly. So, what you feel is you are going to unite yourself, you know. If you are doing Bhramri, you are doing that sound of bhamra, like male honeybee and female honeybee. So, you will find your brain calms down immediately. The stress hormones will calm down immediately.
The stress hormones
definitely
calm down.
Yes, yes. So, the important thing is yoga should be done empty stomach, preferably in the morning, but you can do it anytime. Now, there is a concept of office yoga, and you know, the modern lifestyle, we have got so much of competition, ambition, targets, time pressures, then we want to be ultimate, you know, and at the same time our lifestyle has become sedentary. Like we are sitting on computers, cell phones all the day, using elevators, not the lift, using car, two-wheelers, not doing any physical activity. So, if you see, there is a many-fold increase in coronary artery disease or the heart attack in the last few decades.
It's the biggest killer in the world.
Increase in hypertension, high blood pressure patients. Like if you see the latest data, 1 out of 4 adult above the age of 25 is having high blood pressure. Every second person above the age of 50 years is having high blood pressure. So, there has been a steep increase in the last few decades. Like
even in cancer, cancer has become the second highest claimer of lives as far as
the cardiovascular diseases are the biggest killer, and they are lifestyle diseases. The latest data says more than 60% deaths are due to the lifestyle diseases, like cardiovascular diseases, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, cancer, smoking.
So, and what kind of a category does cancer fall in? Is it also a lifestyle disease?
Definitely. If you are doing regular exercise,
you greatly reduce the chances.
You will have less level of stress hormones. So, once the level of stress hormones are low, you are having good relaxation, because yoga is inducing relaxation also, as I told you, because deep breathing, then holding, relaxation, corpse poses, all these asanas basically lead to relaxation also. Yoga is a complete way of living, and at the same time it will regulate your appetite, your desires, your ambitions. You become a more realistic person. You will set the targets which are achievable.
More realistic. In fact, I want to take that up with you, Dr. Raheja. Let's look at the the contrary point of view. You as a doctor know this, that the people who live the longest are who have the most zest for life, who value life, who are ambitious, who want to hold on to it. When a person is dying, tries to hold on to life as much as possible, even at old age, and finally when the person dies, gives the final push for holding on to life. And the patients who recover are generally, US doctors tell us, are the ones who really want to get back and who are attached to life. Now, does yoga give you a certain sense of detachment? You become less ambitious, saying, well, I'm already in a state of bliss. Why should I care to aspire for this worldly possession or this target or that target? Does yoga do that to you?
I will put it otherwise. Yoga balances your life. Balancing means you will go for what is achievable, what is sustainable, and how much you need. Because there is no end to physical possessions. That all of us know. If you have got Maruti, you want Toyota, you have Toyota, you want Mercedes, you have Mercedes, you want Lexus. So what you feel? There is no end to physical possessions, and they will give you happiness for a very short time, maybe couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months. Ultimately that settles down. Yoga basically balances, and as you very well said, no one, because as a physician I have seen very critical patients also. The ultimate desire of even the richest of the richest person is Dr. Meri jaan bacha lijiye. He wants to live. And the ultimate desire of even the poorest of the poorest person
is to live
or even the oldest person is that he wants to live more. That is with all of us. So that is natural.
So doesn't that come from attachment?
No, yoga will basically make you realize the reality of life. What I feel is yoga will teach you let it go, when to let it go and when to keep going. Like if you really attach to someone, something really closely, it will only lead to stress, anxiety, fear,
pain,
the sense of losing. But at the same time yoga is going to teach you let it go. कि that feeling of sabr जिसको कहते हैं ना कि contentment, that is a state of bliss.
The other thing that I wanted to ask you, Dr. Raheja, is about how people think of yoga as something that is good in terms of having good joints, stretching and everything, and they don't really look into the spiritual, the mental aspect of it. They feel, oh, meditation, I don't understand it, I don't have time for it, I'll just do my stretching and I'll be done. So what do you tell these people?
Yes. You start yoga. In the beginning you will find your stretching, your joints are feeling flexible, your muscles are getting tightened up, toned up, your breathing is getting better, because I told you when you are deep breathing you are putting more oxygen, you are feeling more energetic. But yoga is a continuous process. Yama, Niyama, Dhyana, if you go higher up, then ultimately when you go to a state of meditation, what you are doing? You are only focusing on here, your intellect and your respiration. And slowly and steadily you will find in the beginning, because I have been doing meditation also in the end. So when you are starting to do the meditation, in the beginning you will have got so much of flights of ideas, running across, and you really find it difficult. But slowly and steadily, under the guidance of a yogacharya or a proper teacher, you will get to know that you go deeper and deeper, and ultimately a stage of bliss will come when you feel absolutely within yourself.
That was going to be my next question to you. How important is it to have a yogacharya, or is it something that you can learn from the internet and do it yourself?
I must say, to start up you must be under the guidance of a proper yogacharya, and at the same time if you have got any of the lifestyle diseases like high blood pressure, heart attack, cervical spondylitis, like even yoga has got an important role in back pain also, spondylitis, then asthma, COPD, diabetes, overt obesity, osteoarthritis. You should consult a physician or your doctor before you go for yoga, because yoga means not to tire yourself. Like if you are going to a Singasana, you are going to Surya Namaskar, you are going to certain pose, you should never have that feeling of that pressure. You should have a cool, calm feel.
Absolutely.
That is yoga.
All right.
आपको कितना करना है, you should know how much your body can do.
कितना पुश करना है
and slowly and steadily over a period of time, maybe couple of weeks or months, you will find that your capacity will increase. Like once you are doing Om Vilom, you are doing deep breathing.
Yes, your lung capacity, your capacity to hold your breath, everything increases.
So when you are doing, this will calm your brain, nerves and everybody. You are breathing for 3 seconds, holding for 6 seconds, releasing from 6 to 12 seconds. But if you practice it over a time, you will find you can
do it longer.
Breathe in for 6 seconds, hold it for 12 seconds, breathe out for 12 seconds.
Okay.
So this is how you build up. It will improve your cardiorespiratory function like anything.
All right. Dr. Aheja, we'll carry on this discussion, but for the moment, Gautam and I will have to take leave of you. Our colleagues Mark and Tanvi are joining you to carry this discussion forward. As on in the Guardian Ring, we're bringing you visuals from all over the world in over more than 75 countries, where the International Yoga Day 2022 is being marked and celebrated by performing yoga wherever the sun is rising as the sun travels.
Yes, this is a marathon relay coverage, and we're coming to you live since 3 a.m. Today, and we'll be on till about 10 p.m. So a total of 19 hours, different parts of the world, different corners of the world as the sun rises, traveling through the course of the globe is what this entire day is about, the 8th International Day of Yoga. And Dr. Aheja will be here with Mark and Tanvi as well, and we'll take your leave for the moment, but this coverage will continue to go around the world just like the sun.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.
Thank you.
The changing world of news. Headlines that you wake up to. News that shapes your day. Stories that matter to you. The latest and most accurate updates. A fresh start to a new day. The Breakfast News, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. on DD India.
Namaste India.
Namaste land.
Marhaban ila al-Hind.
Zari India.
Salam India.
Namaste India.
Namaskar Bharata.
Mui
Nous
India.
sommes land.
Nahnu Hunud.
India.
Ma Hindi Hasti.
Mung Hindian.
Salam Hindustan.
We are India.
Your window to rising India. India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in Central Asian countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here. Switch to DD India now. As the day unfolds and news and events take shape, we get you complete coverage of every news breaking in, tracking new developments as they happen. Midday Prime English, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. on DD India.
Hello and welcome to our special Guardian Ring program. The Guardian Ring program, it celebrates the movement of the sun, underlining the concept of one sun, one earth. Now, over 80 Indian missions and embassies are organizing yoga events on a grand scale at iconic locations in their respective countries, and DD India is bringing you exclusive visuals from the iconic locations across the world to our viewers everywhere. Now, this year the theme, as we have been discussing over the last several hours, is Yoga for Humanity, and it portrays how during the peak of COVID-19, yoga had served humanity in alleviating several forms of suffering.
Yes, and as we have been broadcasting since 3 in the morning Indian Standard Time, the celebrations of the 8th International Day of Yoga being celebrated the world over. It was organized in a unique way in 16 different time zones. Early in the morning, Fiji's iconic Albert Park hosted the International Day of Yoga celebrations. Albert Park is the biggest park in Suva, which can accommodate 2 rugby matches at one time. There you see the visuals on your screen. It has Fiji's Parliament building at one side and the iconic Grand Pacific Hotel on the other side.
And just as a recap, in Egypt, International Yoga Day was celebrated at the Al-Azhar Park in the old city of Cairo, and this park was created by the Historic Cities program of the Aga Khan Trust for Culture, an entity of the Aga Khan Development Network, in the backdrop of the citadel of Cairo, and it was the seat of government of Egypt and also the residence of its rulers for nearly 700 years, from the 13th to the 19th century. The great mosque of Muhammad Ali Pasha, or the Alabaster Mosque, was also seen in the background of the park.
And the Kasbah des Odayas, a UNESCO heritage site in Rabat, Morocco, saw yoga enthusiasts perform the yoga protocol in the backdrop of the Atlantic Ocean. The Kasbah or citadel is located on a hill at the mouth of the Borgreg River, joining the Atlantic Ocean.
And Danske Industries building in Copenhagen in Denmark, it saw close to 100 people participating in the International Day of Yoga celebrations. This building, it sits opposite the City Hall and is next to the world famous Tivoli Gardens. And this building has served as the center for Danish business, and it's gaining a reputation also as a center for innovation and business.
On the 8th International Day of Yoga, an event was held in Bulgaria. The yoga enthusiasts performed yoga next to the iconic Alexander Nevsky Cathedral in the center of Sofia. The gold-domed Alexander Nevsky Cathedral in the center of Sofia is the main iconic national monument of Bulgaria, and all national celebrations are centered around it. Several yoga practices were witnessed by different yoga schools of Bulgaria.
An International Day of Yoga was also celebrated in Moscow. It played out in the backdrop of the Kremlin Square, or the Red Square, at the Moscow State University. And around 30 participants went through the yoga protocol in sync, and over 500 people participated in another session at the Gorky Park as well. So several locations in Moscow, they had yoga today.
So from Arctic region to the Antarctic region, this Yoga Day was celebrated. International Antarctica Research Station also saw enthusiastic participation by scientists and researchers.
Yes, indeed, and from one pole to the other, International Day of Yoga 2022 was also observed from, as we said, east to west continents, but also from north to south. It was observed in the Arctic region as well. And this event was organized in the city called Chukotka, and it's on the Arctic Circle in Russia.
And a serene location in Alaska amidst the gushing waterfalls saw some yoga enthusiasts celebrate the 8th International Day of Yoga. The mayor of Livingstone spoke about how the International Day of Yoga came to be observed with the UNGA's decision in 2014 and the importance of yoga being felt worldwide, and hence we got 21st of June as the International Day of Yoga.
And yoga demonstration was also held at Queensland's Cricket Club, the Gabba. In Brisbane, the Gabba is a major sports stadium in Australia, as we know, a famous cricket ground, and it has seen a lot of cricket matches, international cricket matches, other sports. And the stadium will also see was the venue for the will be the central venue of the 2032 Summer Olympics in Australia. And QCC Hall provides scenic background to visitors participating in the International Day of Yoga event today.
Yes, so this
so we-
all has happened
Absolutely.
in the day that has gone by, and of course the Guardian ring will travel further west, and
So we continue to have with us Dr. S.M. Raheja, who's the Medical Superintendent and Director General of Health Service and Medical Superintendent at the GB Pant Hospital. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. So some of the interesting questions that some people have been asking is there are several, you were talking about the mind a little earlier, there are several psychosomatic illnesses. People suddenly feel they have pain. How would you identify them, first of all, whether they are psychological or not, and can yoga be a cure?
Yeah, basically the major cause of psychosomatic disorder is because of the excessive stress for a very long time. Your body, your brain, your inner being is not able to take it any further. So the sign and symptom, they will start appearing in a different way. Like a person can just be, having feeling of fits at times,
Right.
hyperventilating, breathing fast with, efforts and all that. So loss of appetite will be there, not eating for many days, sort of.
Okay.
So all these disorders, they come because of the imbalance in the body hormones and the nervous system. Hormones, our body has got bliss hormones, which are mood elevators like endorphin,
Okay.
serotonin, dopamine. When you are doing yoga, these hormones are released in the body, what we call bliss hormones, and they bring a feeling of well-being, a feeling of bliss, a feeling of harmony, and you are able to concentrate, you are able to focus better,
Sure.
you are able to relax and sleep better. Once you are into a state of continuous stress, at one point or the other, your nervous system will break down, your body will break down.
Okay.
So that is how the sign symptoms starts appearing at what we call psychosomatic disorders, like
So there are a lot of
depression,
psychological
anxiety.
disorders. We'll come to
Yes,
them, whether
yes.
you can actually
So-
whether yoga can be a cure for them. Things like depression, to get people
Definitely.
out of inertia. But maybe Tanvi will introduce our next
yes,
guest as
before
well.
we talk about more serious mental ailments, let me also welcome Professor Purnendra Jain. He's joining us from University of Adelaide from Australia. Welcome, sir, to our broadcast here on DD India. Professor Purnendra, we saw earlier shots and visuals coming from the Gabba Cricket Stadium in Brisbane. Tell us how Australians have embraced yoga over the years now, since we are celebrating 8th International Day of Yoga today.
Yes, thank you. I mean, like anywhere in the world, Australia is no different. The only difference is that we are down under. So in the northern hemisphere, you have got the longest day, and today in Australia, we have got the shortest day.
Okay.
So not much, sunshine here, but still the enthusiasm is great. And as you have already showcased, Brisbane Gabba cricket ground, they started this morning, and it's a 24-hour yoga session there. It's an ongoing process. But apart from Brisbane, around Australia and in different cities, people have organized such sessions. And it's just not limited to today's, because I went to a session last Sunday, last Saturday. So it's an ongoing process. It started last week and it will continue into next week and week after. So people have embraced it in real, with real enthusiasm. We can see very clearly. But the point I want to actually emphasize is yoga. I mean, you have got medical experts there and yoga instructors who can talk about lots of technical and medical benefit and physical benefit of it. But I'm a student of international relations.
Yes.
So I see this International Yoga Day as a great contribution of India to global society. And India has given this, it's a soft power of India, which has spread throughout the global community for the good of the global community. So this is something we need to celebrate very, very, enthusiastically. And this also says a lot about India's growing power in global diplomacy. So we see also as an example of great international community work coming out from India to the benefit of the entire society. If you want to comment, me to comment more, I am quite happy because what I've seen that there are not only yoga schools, but lots of community organizations and lots of spiritual organizations. Say, for example, Art of Living, for example, or there is a Gujarat-based called SRMD, which is Srimad Ramachandra Mission, Dharmpura. These people, with the help and assistance and blessing of the Indian High Commission in Australia and consulates around Australia, they have organized a number of yoga sessions. And this is not just, I mean, there are lots of Indian diaspora community who come to these sessions, but I have seen local participation. That is, those who are non-Indians, they have also participated in these sessions with great interest and with the idea that this is something good for them in physical terms. But I was listening that to some of your contributors that still, what kind of a spiritual benefit or they get is not clear to them. I think there's need to be a little bit more, emphasizing about the spiritual aspect of yoga as well, apart from what it can give to your physical activity. Overall, it has been a great experience over the last 8 years since it was started in a very kind of modest manner. It has grown big and growing bigger and bigger, and I can only see that it will be bigger in the years to come.
Professor Jain, so you tell us a little bit more about the spiritual aspect of yoga. Our guests have been, doctors of the medical profession, so we've been trying to relate quite a few of that, their understanding of it. But you did mention now that it is catching on in terms of spiritual quest. And we know that in the forms of yoga, there is the bhakti yoga, which, where you ultimately find a devotion to the oneness of being. So in that context, to reach that form or that pure form of yoga, what kind of stages does one have to go through?
Well, look, I won't claim an expertise in this area, but I do practice yoga not just for my physical well-being, but I see yoga as more a kind of holistic approach to your life and to your well-being. Because it's not just physical, it's mental, it's spiritual. So if you combine all these things together, then you get the maximum benefit of yoga, as I understand it. But as you said, a lot of people who come to these sessions on International Yoga Day, necessarily they are not switched on the spiritual aspect of yoga.
Right.
They just understand yoga as physical exercise, stretches here and there, and they will complain after 1 hour of session, oh, their body is aching here and there. But I tell them that, you need to follow up, keep it up. You just can't do one day on International Yoga Day, and that's the end of this story. So they have to continue, and we actually, through these sessions, there has to be more knowledge about the spiritual aspect of yoga, that yoga is not just physical exercise. It's a lot of mental, your mental well-being, and also your, ultimately it gives you spiritual satisfaction. You reach a different level in your life through the practice of yoga, and you become more compassionate. You love things, and you see people as they are rather than judging themselves. So I think it teaches you lots of spiritual aspects which are attached to yoga, and that's something I think still lacking internationally.
So let's bring in Dr. Raheja on that point. If you think positively, and if you actually does it help you as an individual in terms of your physical health? You know, I mean, if you develop that kind of spiritual dimension that Professor Jain is talking about, does it help you physically in your body? Your body will be at tune in a sense, rather than, or is there a sense that, you know, disease within the body is caused by rather negative thoughts and stress?
Yeah, very, very good question. I always say a state of anger will release stress hormones. There is a rage reaction, there is a wild reaction, there is a sympathetic stimulation, but ultimately what it leads to. If you see, if you are angry on someone somewhere down, after that you feel very weak and tired. Because your body has released lot of stress hormone, adrenaline, noradrenaline, cortisol. So that is a flight and fight reaction. That is basically the reaction of the body to a state of fear or fight. So ultimately these hormones will kick your blood sugar levels, your heart level high, your BP goes high, your respiration is stimulated, your whole body is prepared to fight or flight. So ultimately once that phase is over, you will feel tired and exhausted. And these hormones can stay in your body for 48 hours or more even.
Right.
You may not be able to sleep that night or maybe next couple of days because of that anxiety and fear. At the same time, when you are doing yoga, you are doing exercise for that matter, you are doing some good activity like meeting your friend, family, your mother, your children. So that releases bliss hormones.
Bliss hormone.
Sure.
So bliss hormones are the endorphin, which attaches person to person. You know, emotionally you will feel good about a person. Serotonin, dopamine, they are mood elevators. You feel elevated. So and these hormones are going to stay in your body for more than 24 hours again. So that is why I say yoga is a dose of happiness.
Sure. So
if
I
you are
can
doing 1
interrupt
hour
you
yoga,
just a little bit, and you know, because I've got some questions that are coming to me, and one person asks, does yoga affect a man differently from a woman? I mean,
I
how
think
would
this
you
is
like
another
to
very good question.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yoga can be done by anyone above the age of 5 years and even beyond the age of 50 years. Yoga can be done by a child, adolescent, girl, boy, woman, man. Even at the age of 65, 70, 80, you can keep going with yoga. But if you have got certain conditions like high blood pressure, cardiac problems, stroke, paralysis, backache, osteoarthritis, blood cancer or any kind of other ailment, it is better to consult your doctor, treating doctor, what kind of yoga you can do. And secondly, the yoga should be done under the supervision of a yoga acharya, a trained teacher who is qualified.
Okay.
Like I always say, if you are sick, go to a qualified doctor. For yoga, it's a special line. It's a very, you know, precise and specific branch of in which we are involving physical body, mental spiritual.
So, but that brings us to another question. There are many schools of yoga. There is Iyengar yoga, there is Vinyas yoga, now there is power yoga these days, which involves a lot of you know, music and aerobatics there. So how does one decide that which form or school of yoga I have to enter into?
You know, basically yoga is an ancient science which started 5,000 years ago. Shiva is the first yogi, if you see the Indian mythology, history. So from that, the different branches, different sets of yoga started, and in the modern days, because of the modern challenges of our life, like the life has become very fast, challenging, ambition, odd working hours, time issues, financial problems, family stresses. So now accordingly, different yogic teachers have modified and developed different kind of yogas.
Okay.
Like there is the office yoga also, you know, I was just going through in the morning.
Okay.
So now you can do yoga in your office in your lunch time also, like you are doing this, you know, then
Again,
cervical,
probably
yes,
Sahaj
yes.
yoga.
Basically, what is yoga? Yoga is a basically complete physically, mentally you are getting involved, spiritually you are going to involve in that. So once you are doing some posture, like you are stretching your body,
right,
then after time you relax. Now there are studies, once you are stretching, your body gets, muscles are getting tense, then you relax. So what happens, you are getting benefits at the cellular level.
Okay.
Now there are studies which is shown that yoga improves your cellular oxygen utilization capacity. It works at the mitochondria, you know, there is a body, our body is made of trillions and trillions of cells. In that there is a mitochondria which is responsible to release ATP to ADP and release energy in our body.
Let's
so
bring
it
in
works at that cellular level.
Let's bring in Professor Jain into the discussion. You're an expert in the social sciences, so you know, I mean, what do you think over time? You did mention about how yoga is growing. Would you see it changing the way people live in big cities? Because you know, most of the problems that people have in terms of lifestyle diseases comes from the big city culture. You know, how to fit in and the rough and tumble of life. Would you see it changing the way people live in the big city?
Well, already there is quite a bit of awareness among middle class and big city dwellers that their mental and well-being is important, their health is important, and it's not just at the individual level. Living in Australia, I see there is a lot of emphasis from health professionals, from government, because if anyone gets sick, there is a price attached to it. If somebody doesn't turn up to work, then you have got lost working hours, less productivity. So all these things are attached to the economic aspects of a country and a city or a state. So that way, government wants people to maintain a very healthy lifestyle. And to that end, of course, yoga is becoming quite a popular way of exercising. I mean, you already mentioned about different types of yoga, even dancing or rap, kind of giving the ancient Indian yoga a modern and contemporary version of it to attract people. But they are more kind of physical movement, in my view. They are not sold as spiritual or mental well-being. So that's more kind of physical. So I think we need to combine this physical, mental, spiritual aspects. And as the doctor mentioned that, you need to go to a trained yoga instructor. Just watching YouTube may not be very helpful because you might have certain health conditions. And if you do practice yoga in the wrong way, that can have adversarial effect on your body. So it's very important. I just want to make another point. I mean, I have seen in Australia some Indian organizations running yoga and meditation courses in prisons for criminals. And talking to them, they have told me that, when they go to prisons and talk about yoga, talk about this spiritual and aspects of yoga, most, inmates, they take this very, very seriously, and they have found actually some positive results coming out of them. So obviously it's just not, ordinary people, but people whose mental makeup is, they have committed crime or they have criminal mindset. It could be quite a reformist process for them as well. And we have already seen that kind of evidence emerging. So from social science point of view, I think yoga has got many aspects of benefit. It's economic, it's social, and also, now politicians in Australia, you go to any political party in Australia and tell them that we are having this yoga session, they will give you their support. Whatever they can give, they can sponsor a whole free of charge, or they can have some politician come and talk about